everybody, to our online program on addiction and recovery from the Sunshine Coast Health Center up here in Powell River, BC. And we've been talking about identity. And we've mentioned Michael Steger's work, Richard Ryan and Edward Dece's. And now there's this very interesting psychologist, Eric Klinger. Klinger, by the way, is written on addiction. But one of his key points is that he believes that evolution has created us to be purposeful in our lives. So we're driven always by purpose. And here's his argument. If you look at living creatures, you can arbitrarily sort of categorize them into 2 points. One type of creature would be stationary. So plants, trees, things like that, right? So they have to gain all their nutrients and they have to figure out how to keep the species going by staying in one place. And the other class of living beings, of course, is animals. Now, animals don't stay in one place. Animals move around, they have to go find shelter, they have to find mates, go find food. So they're motile, they're movement. So these two things, stationary and those who are motile. Human beings, of course, are animals, right? So we move. And Klinger makes the argument that because of this, because we need to find shelter, we need to find food, we need to find a mate, that our lives are purpose-driven. Of course, being human, we're far more complicated than any other animals. A wolf pack is a community of people, a community of animals, but relative to the human community, they're pretty simple. Right? Human beings are far more complicated, but still, Klinger argues that even within that, we're still purpose-driven creatures. We always have to have purpose. Now, when you think about this, if I have to have a purpose, and not just to get food or to get a mate, but to do things like get educated, go get a job, all these kinds of things, then chances are I'm going to actually have to know something about myself as a person. Right? So something about me would make me excited, for example, to go become a psychologist. Right? Or something about me make me excited to become a computer programmer. Or something about me may make me excited to, help out on an airplane, or to be a plumber, or literally anything, right? Something about me that I would find this work appealing. Something about me that I would find this particular mate, not just any mate, but this particular mate is someone, to have a connection with, right? And so, in a very real sense, it's going to demand that I actually have a good sense of who I am as a person. So again, we're back to the identity issue, even with Klinger's work. And one of Klinger's interesting things was he said people with drug problems use the drugs basically to artificially control moods. And he said they very often do this because it's the best way they know how to do, best way they know how to operate. So in that sense that it's almost as if they don't have really a good sense of who they are, that they have to rely on some kind of artificial agent to help them attain a certain feeling in life. And this idea of lacking a good sense of who we are and therefore not really having a good sense of our purpose in life. Again, it comes back to this whole thing that these things seem to be so common with people with addiction problems, and that recovery will demand that we have this purposeful life, and not just any purpose, but something that's got its anchor within the individual human being. At any rate, so that's another little wrinkle on the whole identity issue, and we'll be back next time with another one.